extraordinary survey which suggests that, would you believe, a majority of Britain's young people do not believe Israel should exist. This is a survey that has been conducted by Focal Data for Unheard, which is the news website. It surveyed 1,000 voters. 54% of 18 to 24-year-olds agreed with the statement that the state of Israel should not exist. This is the only, we could say, functioning democracy in the Middle East, ladies and gentlemen. Just 21% disagreed. In a separate question, young respondents were asked who was more to blame for the war in Gaza. Half blamed the Israeli government, while just a quarter answered Hamas. Only 19% responded all equally. Well, let's get the response from the editor of the Jewish Chronicle, Jake Wallace-Simons, who joins me now. Jake, what's your response to this survey?
Well, obviously, these are disturbing figures, and for me, they really throw into sharp relief the great cultural change that we're undergoing in our country, which is generational, whereby the values that older generations hold are being thrown out by the younger generations. This isn't really about Israel and Palestine. In fact, some extra polling done by Unheard established that they cared much more about Gaza than they did about wars closer to home in Ukraine. And so it's not really about the real place Israel. It's about their feelings about liberal democracy, about the norms of living in a Western society and the sorts of traditions and attitudes that we uphold. They're turning against those. When they march against Israel in the streets on a Saturday afternoon, they don't just march against Israel, they also attack statues of Winston Churchill and the Union flag and the cenotaph and the police. Israel is a symbol for the establishment in their eyes, for our liberal values of tolerance, openness, equality under the law and freedom of assembly and so forth. And it's that they don't like. It's that they're trying to bring down in the form of the only liberal democracy, functioning liberal democracy, as you said, in the Middle East.
Jake, do you put some of this down to social media? I mean, let's be honest, we've had conversations about this in the past, and we've agreed that Israel is not winning the social media war here. There's a huge amount of propaganda. I mean, we can call some of these students and campaigners useful idiots for Hamas if we want, but the point is that a lot of these algorithms seem to be pushing anti-Israel content. There's even been a suggestion, by the way, that TikTok, controlled by China, might be doing it on purpose.
That's right. I mean, this process of subversion of the West really started during the Cold War with the influence of Russian Soviet propaganda at the same time as the sexual revolution. And it sort of took root then in the universities and began to spread outward from there. But social media has given it rocket boosters. We live in an age now where young people don't have very much of an attention span because of the influence of social media, read far fewer books than they used to. Even politicians don't speak in paragraphs anymore, let alone sentences. And so their attention span is reducing, and their susceptibility to misinformation spread by our hostile actors and our enemies on social media is really quite worrying. And that's really exemplified in one aspect of the polling, which showed that 50% of them blamed the government of Israel for the war.
Yes.
They have no idea how it started.
No, maybe we need to do more in our national curriculum, Jake, to educate some of these young people about the actual history of this very, very complicated region and nuanced argument. But thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening.